All right, let's jump into love-hate with the quarterbacks here. And we will start with Lamar Jackson, QB1. I believe Lamar Jackson was QB1 for you last week too, Matthew.
He didn't finish his QB1, but he had a very, very good game, and I expect that to continue as well. 7 of the 10 quarterbacks that have faced the Chargers have scored 20 or more fantasy points. Here's the 3 that didn't score at least 20 fantasy points. T-Bag, Tyson Bagent, Aiden O'Connell, and Zach Wilson. No team allows more yards per pass attempt than the Los Angeles Chargers. Lamar Jackson, obvious name, but I'm putting him on my love list because he is in a week in which every single quarterback in the NFL is playing. He is my number 1 quarterback this week in Week 12. Lamar, QB1.
Yep, I like that. Also, look, he's going to have a monster game against the Chargers defense. They've got absolutely nothing going on. Joey Bosa has gone on IR, their best defensive player. That hurts. He'll be able to do whatever he wants. Just a little side note off of that is that Odell Beckham, a little bit concerned about his status. John Harbaugh said it's not a long-term thing. And then John Harbaugh went on a kind of funny side tangent, didn't actually specify whether Odell would actually going to play this week or anything. But with that kind of stuff, it's always important to actually listen to what the players said, because Odell after the game was interviewed and he was like, yeah, I've had an injury like this before. But if you actually, the end of the interview, he says, I'm so glad we have a bit more time because it really hurts right now. And he's holding his shoulder, he's putting his hand in his pocket to elevate his shoulder during the interview. So I wouldn't be surprised if Odell misses. Maybe he plays, maybe he's fine with the extended rest, but expect that it's going to be a lot of Zay Flowers, going to be a lot of Isaiah Likely. Odell might be a bit banged up.
Both of them on the love list. I also mentioned Beckham as well, but if you're picking between them, I prefer Zay Flowers to Beckham for that reason. Yep. But he's another one of those guys, Beckham, that all he needs is one, and Lamar Jackson should have a big game against the Bolts.
Our next quarterback, C.J. Stroud, Jay, the rookie, comes in as QB5 in that pivotal matchup against Jacksonville.
Yep, C.J. Stroud just locked in superstar starter at this point. The amount that they're throwing the ball, they're not as committed to the run with what Stroud has shown. And now we get to Jags' team. I think this game is going to be a shootout. I think they'll need to be throwing to keep up. He's got all of his weapons. There's not much more to say about C.J. Stroud at this point.
Jags are a pass funnel defense. Teams facing Jacksonville average the 4th most pass attempts per game, and you see it there on your screen. He's my 5th quarterback this week, top 5 play. And I think you could make an argument for him even higher. But again, just a locked-in QB1.
Some others receiving votes, Justin Fields on this list, as well as Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love, who we said has been playing much better. Fields comes in as QB10 here, Matthew.
He's had at least 20 fantasy points in each of his last 3 full games, 33% of the team rushes in his first full game back, and he's at Minnesota as well. Again, Minnesota, we talk about that. It's a Minnesota really good run defense, but a bottom 12 pass defense over the last 4 weeks. I have Fields as QB10. Trevor Lawrence, you just mentioned it. We expect that game to be a shootout. That Houston-Jacksonville game should be a shootout. Houston allows the 3rd most yards per pass attempt over the last 4 weeks. So Trevor Lawrence, coming off his best game of the year, real life and fantasy-wise, is a top 12 play for me this week.
Yep, Fields is the most interesting to me of that group just because of the matchup with the Minnesota defense. They have no pass rush outside of Danielle Hunter. They need to send all these exotic Brian Flores blitzers, and for the most part, they're getting away with it. But Fields, just the type of player he is, his ability to scramble and evade the blitz, I think that he will have the opportunity for big plays.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.